Hi, welcome everyone. We'll just take a couple of minutes till everybody joins in, and we have a beautiful session planned for you. So good to see you all here on a Sunday noon, almost evening. Some known names, some regular ones, many new ones. Hello to all the parents, teachers who have joined for this session today. We'll just start in a couple of minutes. And the way we have planned these sessions, we are sure that you will go back with much more clarity at 5 o'clock than where you are at 4 o'clock. No pressure, Aditya. Hello, good evening. Good evening, Sadesh sir. Thank you. Good to see you. Hello, Celine. Hello. I'm sorry, there are many personal messages coming in, and I might not be able to respond to all of you. But so good to see you all. All right, hello, and I think let's get started. So many of you have joined in. First of all, a very warm welcome to all of you to this beautiful webinar on Beyond Mood Swings, Understanding Your Teens. And we are going to stand by every word we have written in this webinar. It's not just a title. We are actually going to stand by this promise of understanding your teen. Everything we have said in the webinar, details that we have given, everything we have said in the video, we'll unpack it one by one. First of all, the webinar is being brought to you by Asymmetrical Talks, Asymmetrical Learning. I see that many new joiners are here. So Asymmetrical Learning is a digital platform, and we work with school students and parents across India to make reading, writing, and learning, self-learning through coding, very, very joyful and interesting. About our platform, we will be discussing a few details and something interesting about it towards the end of this session. Uh, about this particular webinar, how it actually originated is the last time when Aditya was here with all his insights, we discussed something about navigating stress and through exam time. In that, we received many questions during and even after webinar, which was mainly about connecting with children. And when we got back to these parents, we understood that the biggest group we are talking about is teenagers. With that, we went back to our partner schools. We spoke to some of the parents, and this confusion was pretty much everywhere. So we decided we would be hosting a webinar on this, and here we are today. Many of you already know Aditya, but again, those who do not, Aditya basically comes from a very different background. His education and his skills is one part, but whenever we want to host something for parents from the students or from the children's lens, we would always go back to Aditya. That's because he brings over 15 years of experience working with children, parents, and educators from in different educational settings in India and around the world. He's a transactional analyst, and as ICF-trained coach, he works closely with parents to bring clarity, ease, and confidence in their parenting journey. Something that is getting even more important today because the more information we have, uh, it is rather confusing these days. So we want a voice of reason, a voice of clarity, and that is what Aditya brings to the table. His approach empowers families to create lasting and positive changes that support their children's growth. Aditya is a known name in this area, and we are very, very happy that he's here with us today. So thank you, Aditya.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to come back.
Uh, Aditya, we actually have a big list of questions that we have received from parents. And parents and teachers, we will be asking some of the questions that we have received, and we'll try to discuss the entire flow of the confusion from the students and parents side. If you think that there is something that is on your mind and maybe we have not covered it, you can put that in Q&A, and even in the flow of the session, we will take that. If there is
Hmm.
completely a different question to the flow, we will take that at the end of the question. But we'll try and answer as many questions as you have, as we have promised that this session should bring some clarity to all of us together. So, Aditya, let me start with something that most of the parents have asked. That during teens, or rather immediately at the start of the teens, we have already discussed that kids
Hmm.
start changing to the degree that parents start thinking ये कौन है, अभी लास्ट ईयर तक तो मेरा बच्चा ऐसे नहीं करता था,
Hmm.
suddenly this person has changed. But with that comes some very peculiar traits of
Hmm.
closing the doors, not answering when they are being called, uh, sometimes, I don't like the word, but sometimes answering a little more rudely, constantly lying around on the sofa, uh, and in general being very disinterested in what parents are doing, calling you out for. Uh, is this a new thing? Because what happens is whenever we think of these questions, it's very easy to blame maybe technology or something that is
Hmm.
right there in front of you. But is this something behavioral in teens? And maybe how should parents handle this?
Yeah. I love the word. How should parents nurture this rather than handle this? And handle sounds a little this. So I'd really like to offer, hopefully, I offer an understanding of teens, or more technical term is adolescents. Hopefully, I offer an understanding that changes the way we look at them altogether. Okay, this reminds me of this movie. It's called How to Train Your Dragon, where the whole village is calling dragons a menace. Okay, there's this whole problem of dragons infestation in the whole of the village. But there's this one person, one boy, who gets to know them, the dragons, and he realizes that they are like any other pets that we have actually. They're just a little fierce, so we get scared and we have demonized them. And whenever I hear adolescent traits as closing doors or talking back, not wanting to do what they're supposed to do, breaks my heart a little, because they are just symptoms. They're just symptoms of what's happening within, and what's the thing that's happening within is a natural plan of an adolescent. Okay. So I've put together a few points. I always show these when I talk about adolescence. I'm just going to put them up, and we just talk about what are these behavioral changes and how they are just symptoms and not actually traits themselves. Okay. Um, in short, what I'm saying is, if we understand our adolescents, they will not shut their doors. They will not talk back. They don't want to. They're just really good people with a lot of potential. Okay. So let's just look at a few things before we go further. Right. So first of all, adolescence is age 13 to 18. That's what we call adolescence. And yes, it goes a year here and there. Another very important thing that's happening these days is it's no more just 13. 10-year-olds are also showing signs, clear signs of adolescence. And I loved what you said, Katie, right at the beginning. Where did my child go? This is a new child. When that feeling sets in, you can say, okay, it's time for adolescence, because they change drastically, because they're doing something drastic and beautiful. All right. So, for the sake of the conversation, we will remember that adolescence can and is more and more starting near about 10, 11. But for the conversation, we'll go with 13, because um, the stage of adolescence is 13 to 18. Okay. So, age 13 and 14, the first 2 years of adolescence, I I call it. delicate adolescence. Okay, because children are going through some really difficult bodily changes, and not just bodily, they are changing so much that they themselves feel like, who is this new person? And when you feel like you don't know yourself or what's happening to you, you're on the edge. You're occupied in your mind, and these are delicate times. So I call this delicate adolescence, 13 and 14. About 2.5 years, these changes occur, and we get to the robust part of adolescence. Now you have this no more a child, this completely bodily formed. Of course, they're still growing, but a lot of growth is complete, and you can see them, and they could easily pass off as adults now. So that's how they look. These ninth graders, 10th graders. To talk in terms of grade 13 and 14 is grade 7 and 8, and ninth onwards is what I'm calling here. Ninth to 12 is robust adolescence. Okay, so let's look at these 13 to 18. What's going on? First is adolescence itself means it's a step to adulthood. Adulthood is completely independent personality, is adulthood. Okay. We are no more dependent on anyone to meet our needs. That's the completion. That's the reaching of adulthood. That's the success of a developmental journey, right? And here you can say that one foot is in childhood and one foot is in adulthood right now. And they are making that transition. All right. And this essentially, this transition is to become a person of their own, an independent person, not dependent on anyone. And but it's a transition, right? They're not still independent, they're getting there. So when they are getting there, they end up doing it badly. They're learning it badly, as in unpleasantly. It's not bad or good. So they're becoming more self-reliant, more self-sufficient. All right. That's the mark of adolescence, which means you have a child or you have an adolescent with a lot of voice, with a lot of choice, and want to make their mark. That's the first of all, that's the crux of adolescence. Let's look at some of the changes. Since they are becoming a person of their own, this is a sensitive period to personal dignity. Okay, they're very touchy about being insulted or being commanded to do something that they don't want to do. You have to be respectful. You have to be you have to have them on the same page before you get things done. Why? Because they're becoming adults, right? So they have a sensitivity, hypersensitivity to personal dignity. This is just their need, the hypersensitivity to personal dignity. We call it arrogant because if they are in a situation where they are not respected, they will show up as arrogant. They are not arrogant as people. That's just a response to what their inner need is, right? And that's the shift of perspective I hope to offer today. That let's look at what they really need rather than how they come across as. Now, if we talk to them while taking care of their personal dignity, they will not be arrogant. They will be, oh my God, they will completely be with you. And I've experienced it for many years because I've worked with adolescents. They have changing bodies. Now, we all know, yes, bodies are changing, but there's an interesting fact about the way body changes. Their legs get longer first, then their hands follow, then the torso. So what happens is this is a lopsided growth. They themselves, then literally their center of gravity has shifted. And the only comfortable position, especially during this 13, 14, is lying down or take support. And it's just what's happening, and we call it lazy. Yeah, so lazy you've become. You were not like this. it's time to take a step back and acknowledge that something's going on. They don't feel comfortable. It's an effort to sit straight because the body is lopsided. Okay. And it's not like you will perceive it lopsided, it is subtly lopsided. And even they don't know this. They're just feeling the discomfort. So they lie down to take care of themselves. I have a nephew right now in my home who is going through his adolescence and he is on the sofa all day. And it's not a problem. And anyway, we'll talk about it more. Now imagine, you don't need to imagine, you all have gone through this as well, right? So there is this changing body and mind, and there are questions going on within themselves. Who am I? What's happening to me? The body lopsidedness make them feel like I'm ugly. Why is everyone looking at me? There are these self discovery. Literally, this is a space of self discovery that's happening. And therefore, when they don't get time to be with themselves, they have to shut the door. And that's what we saw. Oh, so much privacy. My child suddenly needs, doesn't want to see my face, right? They just need enough privacy. They need you equally. I cannot stress more on this. As parents, they need you a lot, even in these years, but in a slightly changed role. Another thing is they are sensitive like a newborn. So, how a 0 year old, a 1 month old is so sensitive to everything around, so are they. So, they can go from tears to joy in a space of a few minutes. And that's all because the processing that's happening is who am I, what's happening to me. And therefore, they don't have a solid foundation of rooting their behaviors in. And just a little hint, this is where we come in. We need to be that solid foundation. And therefore, mood swings are a part of them. And if we just know it's normal, if we just know why it's happening, we've all been through it. And therefore, mood swings are just a symptom of some inner discovery that's going on. Their concentration and confidence both are also short. Now, I'm mainly talking about 13, 14, 15. Okay, 16 onwards, when this bodily growth is complete, they are powerful and amazing individuals. Now, concentration is less because of all this that's going on. And that's what we call distracted, unfocused. So, if we could focus more on understanding these things that I've written in black, rather than naming them things that I've written in red. That's the shift that really brings out this amazing individual. And lastly, since they are getting to being adults, they are practicing being in real society. And therefore, there's a thirst for real contribution in the real world. They want real responsibility. But unfortunately, the way grade 7 to grade 10 is set up, we need them more to be with their books and be with their exams and performances for the future, right? To set their future right. But they are more attuned to real world contribution right now. If they would do an internship from grade 7 to grade 10, they would love that. And I think CBSE has started something like that, which I applaud. I know a few teenagers who are doing 2 week long internships, which is a new addition, and they love it. They are amazing at it. So when they want to do real work, we want them to do something which is not really real. It's for the moment, it's for the future, and therefore they don't care about what we tell them to do. But it's just a change in perspective that we need. So these adolescents actually are just hesitant, anxious, good people. They are amazing. And they are social newborns. All right, I'll just let that sink in for 5 seconds. They are social newborns. They are new, almost adults. and they belong less to us and more to the universe or more to the society and more to themselves now. That's the shift that's really required to understand them. And therefore, we also see that a lot of them want to be with themselves because they're learning society. One. And second, it is an adolescent who understands other adolescents so well. So therefore, they do want to be with other of the same age. Yeah. So these are the behavioral changes, but I would rather say these are the
Beautiful.
developmental changes that are happening within at the foundation of this human being.
That's so interesting, Aditya. And what happens is, especially mothers, fathers, they look at these developmental milestones almost till age 3 or age 4, like a hawk. You know, what should my child be
Yeah.
doing? When should they be standing? When should they be babbling their first sounds? And later, I think we miss this trait that those developmental milestones continue for a while. I really love the last sentence that you have put up, that they belong less to you, because I think as a parent, I realize it's also the loss of control which makes me feel anxious if my teenager is not listening to me. So the privacy, distraction, mood swings, a parent feels less in control of what's happening with my child, and that's not a very pleasant feeling as a parent. So yeah, that's
I I loved what you just said, okay? Because I said they're social newborns, right? The newborns of 1 month old, 0 month old. We That's the only thing that's on our mind when a month old baby is at home. The whole household is focused on them.
yeah.
I would say the same thing is required, but not in action. They want their privacy, but they want you to be truly focused on what their needs are. Which means when arrogance comes up, rather than calling it arrogance, can we say, hey, what's going on? Sorry, is there something that you want me to do differently? So that's that Hawkeye focus on what their needs are. They're very delicate. They're social newborns. That's one.
That's yeah,
And
that's true.
another, yeah, and then another just mind blowing way in which nature works. When a newborn cries, there is that cry of hunger. Okay, there are different cries for a newborn. All the mothers have experienced that, I'm pretty sure. The cry for hunger is something of a different frequency that is attuned to the mother's ears. So mother's ears and the baby's cry are actually connected to each other. Therefore, that cry creates an urgency in the mother. Okay. Similarly, guess what? In teenagers and sorry, adolescents, their sensitivity in their ears reduces towards parents' voice. Actually, like
Like,
physically,
do they actually
biologically,
hear you less?
they actually hear parents' voice less. And therefore, and I'm sure most of our listeners would have seen this, he tells everything to his masi or his chacha or his kaka, but not to me. That's because there is that nature's design to look outward, out of the family, to step outside the family and look for new mentors. And actually, it's a great time to just like start ignoring parents. That's how nature has designed it. Okay, I'm just the messenger. I'm giving you what the nature has designed, and this is known. These are beautiful researches all over, and we can send them to our listeners later if you want. But how
Insane,
interesting.
insane. So they
Insane. Yeah.
actually hear you less. So they are not just pretending. They are not just being
Mhm.
cool kids. They actually hear you less. And the second point is also interesting. What you said, that they start finding mentors outside of their first circle or maybe parents, which is also interesting. So if you have good family friends, good relatives coming to your place, maybe that's the time they would start looking up to them. maybe older cousins, and that's true. I think this was the age when even we started looking up to our older cousins who were studying
Yes,
well, doing well in college, going outside of the country, and at that time we wanted to speak to them how the world is.
absolutely.
It is
Yes.
interesting, and the point that you spoke about making real world changes or
Mm,
taking on those challenges is very interesting, because me and Siddharth, we had done a particular project with one of our partner schools which was about entrepreneurship,
mm,
and we had selected a handful of students. Siddharth was talking to them on how to make a business plan, and at that
mm,
point in time he was also teaching in one of the leading business schools in Maharashtra. Now we are
mm.
talking about MBA students and grade 8 7 and 8 students. He had given the same assignment of making business plans, and the grade 7 and 8 students, they actually went out to restaurants, they took the entire cost sheet, they made
There
some
you go.
beautiful business plans. They had some assumptions, they spoke about it, and at the end of the presentation they said, we really like the assignment because you treated us as an equal in this. So
There you go.
and vis-a-vis, the MBA business plans were as good or as bad as a PowerPoint, a detailed
Mm,
PowerPoint. And
mm,
these guys,
mm.
they had experienced something. So I think that's an interesting point as parents and as teachers, to give them something real life to work on.
Yes,
Yeah, but
absolutely.
Aditya, now this also poses a question in my mind that you spoke about all these behaviors, right? It can be privacy, need for privacy, mood swings, and everything. Now we are talking about a very big spectrum in this. When I say
Mm,
mood swings, is it just, hey, I don't want to talk to you, and then maybe closing the door, or maybe just, not really discussing things with mom or dad? That's one part. But really closing yourself off for days, uh, that's a pretty big spectrum we are talking about. So in this, as a parent, how do you understand that this behavior is a normal teen behavior, it's supposed to happen, and this is how I should respond to it, and something that might need further review or some help? How do you
mm.
understand the behavior is different?
What a very pertinent question. And actually, you spoke to it a little earlier. There is a there is actually a power shift. Okay, till 12, the child wants leadership. They look to you, even though they may not like what you're asking them to do, they thrive in leadership. Now, it has changed as they grow into adolescence. Children need you to partner with them. Okay. Now, when we talk about a child who's completely shut off, like I said, that's not an adolescent behavior. That is a symptom. The symptom, the underneath that symptom is something else. And it could be a lack of personal dignity, or, as is required for an adolescent, trust and connection. Okay. Um, and the good news is you will know as a parent. Okay. You have to trust yourself that this, what's happening, if you feel this is not okay, this is too much distance, I don't know enough. Because, like I said, we need to be their foundation. We need to open the door, enter the room, and sit next to them. What we do there has to change. Okay. Staying outside when you feel okay, staying outside, if you feel okay, na, theek hai, she is having her own time. Maybe I give him or her an hour, then I'll step in. If you feel okay, stay outside. You're fine. But when you feel within you that it's time for me to go in, do not hesitate. You're the foundation. So you step in. And I tell you, if you don't know what to do, the best thing to do, go in, sit next to them, don't say a word. That's what opens up a space. That's space. I'm here for you, but I trust you to tell me what you need to tell me. I'm not going to say, tell na, tell na, tell na, or I'm not going to read your diary. I'm not going to call your friends. Arey, isko kya ho gaya hai? These are all, what do you say, transgressions. These are all crossing the boundary of personal dignity. Can you treat me like you said, right? You treated us like adults. Can you treat me like an adult? How would you do this with your, say, a sibling who's an adult? You would go, Um, you might take permission to go in if it's an adult. That's the difference. They are your children. They are your adolescent. They are your offspring. That's the word we need to use. They're not children anymore. They are your offspring. You go into the room, but what you do there has to have love, sorry, connection. Love to hey, obviously. Love is there, no problem. Connection, trust, and personal dignity. I heard this beautiful sentence once from one of my massis. Okay. She had an adolescent a few years ago. Now that person, my cousin's also an adult. She wanted to go to a Himalaya trek. Okay. And I can never forget because I was an educator already by then. So I had that lens. I can never forget what she said when she wanted to say no. No, you can't go to the trek on Himalayas because I'm not ready to send you. I don't feel ready. You are. You're asking for it. That means you are ready to go. You feel like, oh my God, I can do the adventure. I need to grow up a little. Can you give me some time? And that's personal dignity. So I'm not saying, oh, they're old now, let them go to Himalaya trek. If they're not ready, you feel whatever, you don't want to let them go, don't let them go. It's okay. But can you communicate the realness of it? Saying, I'm worried. You may be ready. So you asked, what's the line of this privacy? What's the line of arrogance? All of us as parents, teachers, we know the line at all times. Okay, there is no one line. We know that line. If something is arrogant, it is arrogant. You call them out. That was arrogant, but also follow it up with what's going on. Why is it hard for you to talk to me in a loving way? Tell me what I need to change. Tell me what's not working out. And they might say, give me some time. They might tell you, you know what? You don't listen. You always want to tell me what to do. But they're old now. They want to do their own thing. They want to figure out, see, self-reliance, self-sufficiency. They want to figure their life out on their own, also face the consequences of what they do very, very strongly. I'm sure parents who are listening, they've heard this sentence if you're, ninth, 10th graders. Yeah, so I'll fail now. I'll see what to do. Why are you telling me to study?
We
And
actually
that's
have
where,
received this question. We have that
yeah,
they are ready to
yeah.
face consequences, but to what extent?
Yes, exactly. So you know the extent. It's not okay that they actually fail ninth and 10th, right? They're not adults yet. They are still learning to be adults. So we are the foundation. So we say, no, that's not an option to fail yet. Something is blocking you, okay, from doing well in 10th. Help me, tell me, open, if we leave them that space, then they will truly tell you. And that's how you work forward to whatever they can achieve in their ninth and 10th. I'm not saying, oh, 90% to lie guy fame, no problem. No, whatever they can achieve, it's okay. A lot of it also rests on 0 to 12 and yeah, just what skills they have built overall between 0 to 12. That is the base for all of this. Yeah,
Uh,
also.
so whatever skills we have built in 0 to 12 years of age will help us mostly sail through in their teenage years.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think what I'm hearing is it's not so parents have been in authority maybe definitely till 6 and also till 12,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
then it's not really a demotion. I think it's a change of role altogether. It's not
It's a
I'm
change
not
of
in authority.
relationship.
Yeah, it's not that I'm not in authority anymore, but I think our relationship has entirely changed now. So it's a
Yes.
process of unlearning for
Yeah.
parents also. That's interesting.
It
Uh,
is.
Parents, if you have any questions on these lines or your examples, please feel free to use the Q&A section. That will strengthen our discussion right now. So Aditya, right now you touched upon an important aspect that, a child saying, a parent did tell us that around 10th grade, a child said, I won't study. And the parent was a little caught off guard because this child loved to study so far,
Hmm.
has been getting good grades and has been academically pretty strong throughout. So they had
Hmm.
never really thought that they are going to get a pushback on this. They
Right.
were okay with all the other things, like sports or friendships, or I won't do this, I won't do that
Hmm.
is okay. But
Hmm. Hmm.
studies, they were a little confused that how to handle this. And the child exactly said this a day before exam that I haven't really gone through the entire book, but if I fail, I fail, right? It's not your blame to take. And that
Hmm.
time the parent spoke to them, and it turned out okay. How does a positive side of this look like? Taking responsibility. Now, this is definitely
Yeah.
difficult. Uh,
Yes.
how does the
Yeah.
positive side of taking that responsibility look like?
So if between 0 to 12, uh, there are different things children self-construct from 0 to 6 and 6 to 12. In short, in 0 to 6, they become functionally independent. I can do my self-care. I can take care of my day. A 6-year-old can be hygienic, eat their food, play well independently. Okay. A 6 to 12-year-old is looking for intellectual independence. Okay. This is where they build their values, or the base foundation of their values. So a value system is built between 6 and 12. Um, Resilience, willingness to do tough things, time management, organization and planning skills, all of them are picked up between 6 and 12. Now, as our education system, we don't believe much in 6 to 12-year-olds' capabilities. They're just young, right? But in fact, if as parents at home, if we could offer them opportunities to build self-organization, then that's what you will see in this robust adolescence. Okay. If And to keep it very simple, if we do not give them external carrots or sticks to do what they are supposed to do, you're going to study now because it is a part of your day, not because to study kar, then I'll give you screen, or then you'll get good marks and then I'll give you this. We are taking developmental tasks that they anyway are doing. They're anyway building organization, time, planning skills, and we take them away by externalizing it. Okay, even so, there's a beautiful book, by the way. It's called Punished by Rewards. As we reward children more and more, we take their agency away. We say what's happening within is not important, you go for that reward. And then they don't build the inner skills much. Okay. Now, we're talking about a child who's been allowed to build inner skills from 0 to 12. Delicate adolescence is tough. Okay, 13, 14, no matter what happens, it's going to be tough for the child. Doesn't need to be tough for the parent. We just give them love and understanding because the bodies are changing and so on. In grade 9, a well-developed child, you will hear them say, I don't want to study. Yeah, I'm so bored, but I have to. Can you make cold coffee for me in the
Interesting.
night? Yeah, I will do. So you pamper me,
Uh,
but I'll do my thing. I need to study. And there are so many examples we see around who do take it upon themselves. I need to do what I need to do. You see this a lot in sports.
mhm.
Children are so motivated to do well in sports. It's not different. The skill is not different, but there is that inner build up, right? We let them do their thing in sports. so they can do their thing in sports in 9, 10th also. So that's what a healthy 15-year-old robust
Very
adolescent
interesting.
sounds like.
Very interesting. I would study because I have to, but you can make me something that I like. And if I fail, I fail. That's the, oh, very, very
That's
interesting.
the
This, yeah,
spectrum, and there's everything in between, of course.
correct. And then there are good days and bad days that
There are
that
good days and
continue.
bad.
Now,
I think friends play a beautiful role in
that
this.
was going to be my next question, that how do peers affect, and
Mm.
the positive side of it, which is, let's say your friend is really good in sports and then you would want to, because now the communication is better, now it's not just competition, you
Mm.
have your group, maybe you're trying to belong there, but that's also there's also the other side of it, that because you're belonging there, are you picking up on something that's not really intended for you? Maybe in one house there is some exposure that as a parent I don't want to give to my child. It can be screen, it can be maybe some other worldly exposure that some household
Right.
is having, and I want to secure my child from it. But now these are really good friends, they converse with each other, they really hang out a lot of times with each other, and now it's more of, I don't want to speak to my parents, but I would rather speak to my friends. In that era, how much role do peers play, and the positives and otherwise of it?
Okay. First of all, I don't want to normalize this at all, that I want to speak to my friends, but not my parents. They need us and they will need us till 18th or definitely. Okay. If we take care of not judging them, if we take care of their personal dignity, if we also let go a little, but stay there as that robust support, they will come to us. That's one. Second, to speak to these influences. You were talking about influences that may not be appropriate for the child, which come from the peer group, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
These influences are also the foundation of what influences our child and what doesn't, also is built by them. Okay. So by 12, so they have their value system, and essentially everything that we may call addiction as an influence is a straight result of lack of connection. Okay. ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है that if that stimulant, no matter what it is, it may be cigarettes, it may be porn, it may be anything that you want to think of, social media as an addiction, right? These influences are all around, but not everyone is affected in the same manner, because it is directly proportionate to how much connection we feel, how secure we feel. So you have this individual in your house. If you're connected, they will never go to that addiction side of it. They may try, they may, experiment, they may do this and that, and they'll come back to what is built so far. Okay. So this whole fear that, oh, this big bad world and something, everything is all around us, they have to get addicted to some. It's not, it's in our hands. It's our home, it's our foundation of connection that keeps it absolutely okay. And I have to talk about social media here. There's a beautiful book. It's called The Anxious Generation. It's by Jonathan Haidt, and it's done after decades of research over when not only smartphones came alive, but when internet became so accessible. Smartphones have been around for a while, but 4G, just snap of our fingers, that kind of access is fairly new, 2 decades. And he studied those. and he basically says such a beautiful thing about our children, about our adolescents. And I, we can't talk about everything. There is so much more I can talk about. But he says today our children and our adolescents are overprotected in the physical world and underprotected in the virtual world.
That is so true. That
We're
is so
saying don't go out of the gate, don't do this, don't do that, but they're so much more capable with their bodies. But screen time 4 ghanta with absolute internet access. They're one keyword away from porn, aren't they? So they're very, very underprotected in social media. And so, sorry, to bring it back to what you were asking, it's not dependent on the big bad world out there. I don't think big bad world. I think it's a beautiful world. So it's not in your hands. They come home and you see them.
that is so
So
beautiful to know. It's
it's in
almost
our
getting your power back. It's almost reclaiming
yes.
your power back. That
Yes,
it's
it's gentle power.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
connecting power. Correct.
connecting
But
power.
oh
That's true.
man, yes. अब तो सुनता ही नहीं है अब क्या बोलना is where we make the mistake because we go by their reaction. But their reactions are just, I would call it a call for help. It's a
Hmm.
call for support.
Hmm.
That reaction. They don't want to be rude to parents. They're just
Yeah.
anxious, good people. So we just
That's a
need
good
to,
takeaway, by the way. Always remember teachers and parents this sentence that they are just anxious, good people. Yeah.
yeah, they're just, what is that? Anxious, hesitant, good people. They are not sure who they are. Such
Uh-huh.
a big deal, right? So when they're arrogant, can we take a step back and take a position of someone who understands rather than someone who seeks to be understood then and there and demands action? And that actually means there are times when you have to let go of what you want done. In that moment, you have to let go. That's the change. With a 12, 10, 8 year old, you can demand an action benevolently, of course. But you can demand an action. Like, नहीं ये अभी होना है मतलब होना है. Thank you very much. With a 15-year-old, you might say, you know what? I'm going to take a step back now, but we have to talk about this. Tell me when you're ready.
That's
Or
interesting
the
because I think with that, you also answered one last question that we had, which was some parents had listened to you earlier with the behavioral changes that you had spoken about, that 6 to 12, they
yes,
build their
oh
life
cool.
skills. And
Yes,
after 12, things change. So some parents now who directly have teenagers, they were asking that, is it too late? But with this, you have already answered that it is never too late. You can always build connection, but there has to be a genuine trust. And there is this sentence, that अच्छा आदमी बनने की acting नहीं हो सकती है. That was towards the acting. But even as a
yeah.
parent, you can't fake it after a point in time. They would understand, and it's important to build that genuine trust and that connection with the kids, which is
I'll,
so
I
interesting. Yeah.
want to share something
Uh,
personal.
mm,
I didn't have a good relationship at all with my father, and we fixed it 10 years ago, just now. So it is truly never too late. It is a call for connection forever, right? It's
right.
never ever, nothing is irreparable, including ourselves. Today, I when I counsel parents, a lot of their sorrow with their relationship with their parents comes up
Mhm.
and it heals in the 3 months that I work with them. They also can fix it, even in those times when they themselves are 40. So it is truly never too late. I want to give two magic sentences that you say to adolescents. One is when they're saying something, instead of counter arguing, you simply say, "Tell me more." Okay, what else? What's up? That "tell me more" is such a, it has no judgment. It has no. It's not loaded at all. It's an unloaded. It's not even a question. It's a statement. It's an invitation. I'm listening. Okay, so tell me more. when they are emotional, when they are angry. And second is, tell me when you're ready. I am here.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
That firmly says, I am here. I'm going nowhere. I am not okay with this door closed, but I'm also okay to wait. But I'm right outside the door. So
That,
that.
that's very beautiful. Very
But it's
beautiful.
tough, no?
It
It is
is
tough.
very, very tough.
It
And
is tough.
I think a lot of things are to do with knowing that your role is changing rather
Yes.
than it's a promotion or demotion. There is an interesting
Mm.
question in the chat that I took my kids to Mission Impossible yesterday. My
Okay.
daughter was okay to sit with her friend who bumped in theater, but my son wanted me next to him. So I said,
Okay.
I can't change my seat. Why my daughter is okay dropping me so casually for a friend. So definitely we are talking about the daughter who's a teenager.
Yeah. It is such an amazing step out of the comfort zone, right? It's literally, it's such a beautiful, hey, I can, in fact, it's so beautiful. You're saying, why is she okay to, drop me quickly and go to her friend? And the daughter, her unheard voice is, look, ma,
Mhm.
I can do this on my own
I
now.
can do this. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's an unheard, it's an unsaid
Yeah,
sentence,
it's like training wheels are off. Now I can ride on
Yeah,
my own. It's that kind
yeah,
of a feeling.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's precisely that. We have to, I think, understand that it's good that they're trying to show a new skill. Uh,
It is a celebration. It's actually, I compare it to walking.
uh-huh.
You know how we instinctively just clap when the child walks for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to me when
Hmm.
I see a 12-year-old go, 13-year-old go, show signs of, can I go to the shop and buy this myself? Can I handle the money? That's where it begins. Okay. So that's my clap, inner clap. Say, yay! Okay, they can go out now.
Yeah,
And we have
you
to take
can.
a deep breath and regulate ourselves. One more
Nice.
thing, money se yaad aaya. Money is important to the adolescent. You,
Hmm.
many of us would have experienced that because money is the way society works. Like, okay, let me rephrase that. Money
Does
is
it give them the
important.
sense of power?
Yes, money is how you participate in society,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want freebies. Personal dignity related. So, you want to help your adolescent use their energy well, ask them to do an internship, ask them to take responsibilities, ask them to do, something that gets them to earn money. If they're under 14, be careful because that is child labor, obviously. But you can work in a way after 14, they can earn their own money. And before 14, you can say, you go do your internship, I'll pay you for this. Oh, the energy that they bring, the confidence that they build, and the connection that they build because you gave them a responsibility is the appropriate step in this age.
There is an immediate feedback in Q&A. My daughter heard the question being answered in the webinar. She walked like a diva with a smile on her face. Her look was, I know I'm right. We weren't
Okay.
expecting that immediate a feedback, but well,
Okay. I always say, and I forgot saying that right at the
yeah,
beginning. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Yeah. But when we discuss children, they should never hear us. They
yeah.
should never know we are discussing learning about children. They, they, yeah, I won't go into details of it, but it's yeah, send your children out if they're around, is all I would say. A simple thing is a younger child takes away a very inner feeling of, oh, my mama needs or my papa needs help with parenting. Don't they know? So it's a seed of insecurity. And for the adolescent, it's personal dignity. Are you discussing me, with someone else? So either way, I'm glad that your adolescent took it sportingly. Awesome. But you can send her out now.
Um, all right, I think there are some beautiful comments, by the way. In Q&A, they have come that superb and easy way the stage of teenage was explained. Maybe mothers, I'm putting my example here. So happy that we are in charge of taking decision for kids. And with your explanation, now I feel I can start the process of shifting the duty from a mother to mentor will be my role now. The anxiety of
Wow, how
sudden,
beautifully that was said.
yeah, that's
Mother to mentor
Amruta
is
who
it.
has written it.
Beautiful,
The
beautiful.
anxiety of sudden change in nature of child is much less now in me. My elder boy is 12 and younger is 9, so I can certainly help myself and my child better rather than being more
Beautiful.
forced decision maker in the kid's life. Beautiful, beautiful. There is another one question that when my daughter knows there's a possibility that I would ask for a help or call her for something, she always goes to the guest room, the farthest room from wherever we sit. And in spite of calling her name loudly, she pretends she can't hear me. When maybe pretends or not, I am being presented with new information today. This irritates me and I compare it to my childhood. Or when I'm talking, she would throw her hair back and move away.
Oh,
uh, how to deal with this? I think a lot of parents would actually get this. Yeah.
it's the same thing. We can't therefore say, okay, वो तो सुनती नहीं है आजकल. We Here's what I like, okay, with especially these adolescents. You give them some time. You don't go and begin with the most hot topic of the day. Why are you not listening to me these days? I prefer personally, especially with my students as well. I need to talk to you about certain behavior, about not responding to what I'm asking you to do. Let's talk after dinner. What time is okay? It's not, would you please take time out? No, there is no wishy-washy use of language. It's basically a very aware choice to give you some time to de-escalate matters in your own head for the child. When you confront, it's like talk to the hand or that throw the hair back. I love that visual. And it's a game. Don't talk to me. I don't like it. I don't like it that you we invite defense. Instead, we give them the subject line. We're going to discuss why you don't respond to this. And I really want to know what's wrong. Should I do something differently? Something is off. I want to know. But not now, after an hour. Or whenever you have time today. So it's not like whenever you have time, next week. They'll say that. Whenever you have time today. And we take away the immediate defenses that come up. So this is also a usual, and it's personal dignity. Let them gather themselves. Why not? Tell them what we are talking about. It's such a respectful thing to do, right? And I love that mother who said mother to mentor. This is what a mentor does. They stay firm with what's expected, but in a skill building manner, in a relationship building manner, not get stuff done from you manner. Thanks for the question. That was nice.
Beautiful. This is nice. I think we have answered all the questions that we have gotten so far from parents, and also thank you. And also in the question and answer section, uh, Aditya, this has been absolutely insightful. Parents, those who are new, we will be talking in the next 3-4 minutes to tell you a little bit about Asymmetrical's platform and give you a particular discount code. But before that, you know, tell me more and tell me when you are ready. I'm right here. Are two absolutely important sentences for teenagers. Let's maybe change the entire lens of how we look at them. They are just hesitant
And
and
they're
anxious good
anxious,
people. Yeah.
hesitant, good people. Yes.
So let's remember these three things because these uh, they are amazing. And with Asymmetrical, we get to speak to these children. There is something interesting because at Asymmetrical we have an advisory board of this age group, and they come up with beautiful things. They tell us about certain books, they tell us why they like Harry Potter, and in the same breath they discuss why Harry Potter is the worst thing to happen. In the same group they can discuss these things with passion. And it's important not to put your opinions in between, but seeing what do they really make out of the world. uh, so it's beautiful. Thank you so much, Aditya. One, for your work, and second, always agreeing to have these talks with us. It's so
Always
insightful and so
my pleasure.
enjoyable to speak to you, genuinely.
My pleasure and privilege,
Ah,
because if this makes a difference to a few adolescents and parents' life, if it makes some lightness, playfulness, and relationship in a few, I'm happy. That's like the mission of my life. So thank you for
It
that.
it definitely does, because the comments that we get from parents that this exam time was a little better because we could sit and talk. We could have an ice cream even at the end of the difficult paper. So important, so very important. Small victories. Uh, Thank you so much. Over to Shubhankar. Shubhankar, would you like to just quickly show around the platform for the people who are new here?
Yes, absolutely. I'll walk you through the platform, everyone. But before that, thank you so much, Aditya, for the insightful webinar which we had today. And being a parent, I can completely understand. And as parents, we all want to stay connected to our teens. But with mood swings, screen time, and changing behavior, it can feel tough. Okay. So many parents ask how I should guide my teen without pushing them away. How do I make sure they are using their time online in a healthy way? So that is exactly why we created asymmetrical learning. So it's a digital library of storybooks and gamified coding made for growing minds. Okay. Instead of wasting time online, your team can read powerful stories, explore new ideas, and learn future ready skills like app development, game development, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and whatnot. It's not about taking screen time away, it's about giving them something better on the screen. With asymmetrical learning, they can feel seen, supported, and safe, and you stay connected without constant conflict. So, if you're looking a way to guide your child through teenage years with trust and understanding, you can visit Asymmetrical AI. I'll ask my colleague to put website link in the chat box. Meanwhile, I'll just share my screen. Nagnath, can you please put the link on the chat box? Yeah. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Yes. So this is how our dashboard, our website looks like. Okay. On the right hand side, you can have a login button. Once you click on login, it will take you to the particular login page. Just a moment. Yeah. Once you click on login, it will take you to the particular page where we provide you with login ID and passwords. Once you enter your login ID and password, so let's say, yeah. So once you put, it will take you to the dashboard. And this is how the dashboard is going to look like. On the left-hand side, there are multiple options like home, e-library, clubs, coding, calendar, games, help section, and logout. At the center, you can see a digital bookmark. So don't have to remember where I last left. I just need to click on continue reading and it will take me to the particular page. On the right hand side, we have a curiosity zone where there is a joke of the day, quote of the day, and read aloud. I'll quickly show you library platform. So this is my bookshelf. At a time, I can keep 6 books on my bookshelf. Whereas if you go on your right hand side, you can click on find more books. Under find more books, you'll have access to all the books which are there available on the platform. More than that, if you just want to jump to particular categories or languages, you can select accordingly. So let's say like if I go Marathi, so all the Marathi books will appear on the platform. These are age appropriate books. So kids who are in teenage, they'll be able to see books according to their ages. Below e-library section, we have club section, which is for elder students. Like they can discuss things about project books, curiosity, mathematics, physics, biology, and much more. So here, child's privacy is completely hidden. So we do not, expose any name or any state or any city name. It's just a username. That's it. So they can ask the questions. They can either write it or they can either snap it. Okay. So snap, like if you have write it on a piece of paper, you can just click a picture, click a photo, and upload it on the platform. Moving ahead, we have a coding section. Once you click on coding section, you can see there is a start coding. Once you click on start coding, it will redirect you to the particular CodeMentum platform. Under this, we have a gamified version of coding. I'll quickly show one or two levels which are there available. So we start from the basics and then we take them to the advanced level of coding. So overall, there will be 315 levels of gamified version of coding with multiple things such as the basic, the studio, repeat loops, variables, for loops, helper methods, and up to database 1 and 2. So here you can see the objective is we have to make this panda reach towards the capsule. So you can see it's a self-learning, self-explanatory platform. So use forward a method to walk forward. Parameter A will represent the amount of squares, 1 for 1, 2 for 2, and so on. Okay. So let's try. So I have already done this. If anyone is new to the coding platform, they can just see drag and drop kind of a thing. You just need to drag and drop, count the step, that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Enter numeric 4 and click on play. So that's how the pointer will reach towards the capsule. As you move ahead, the difficulty level will keep on increasing. Coming back to the platform, we have calendar, which is monthly, weekly, and daily. So children can, schedule their calendars, their tasks, etc., etc. After that, we have games. These are our in-house games, which is memory card and math sprint. So just like we used to play with the cards, we have to, match the icons, which you can see. It's a memory game and it's AI generative game. So each and every time when you refresh, this diamond won't be here at the same place. So kids cannot memorize it. Okay. Moving to the last, we have help section where you can go with coding problem, books related problem, question answers, feedback. Just describe your problem, queries, answers, click on submit. Within 24 hours, we'll answer those questions. And lastly, we have logout option. Okay. Now, as Keitki mentioned, I'll take you to the pricing plans which we have. So these are the pricing plan which we have. You can go on the platform, just as I showed on the home page, we have pricing plans over here. Once you click on this, it will take you to this particular page. You can select the grade of your child. Okay. And for this particular webinar, we are running a code that is known as Happy 25. So if you enter Happy 25, the current prices you can see is 1999 for 1 year of library, 4399 for 180 days of coding plus library, and 6000 rupees for 1 year coding plus library access. But as I said, if you enter Happy 25, click on apply. Here you will be able to see the 1999 has become 1299 for 1 year library subscription. Whereas for the coding subscription, instead of 6000, it is 3999 for entire 1 year coding plus library. So those parents who want to, get subscription, we can wait in this particular webinar. You can do it right away, or else the link is valid for the next 1 hour. Link in the sense the coupon code is available for the next 1 hour. All right. Thank you so much. Over to you, Ketki.
Yes, thank you so much, Shubhankar. Parents, if you are new, more than 1.5 lakh parents are enjoying our platform throughout India and outside. Do grab this offer, and we hope that your kid will also enjoy the platform as our entire asymmetrical community around. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday evening with us, and we hope that this has been insightful for all of you. We will see you on next Sunday. If you haven't yet registered, you will receive a registration link on 25th of May, next Sunday at 4 p.m. We are inviting Dr. Bhushan Kelkar, a leading voice in the world of AI and how jobs are changing regarding career planning after 10th. So we are holding that webinar. The seats are getting full. So please make sure that you register in time. All right. And thank you so much. Have a great evening, all of you. See you.